Hello guys, and welcome to Season 2 of the Penny Podcast. I'm Andrés. I'm in 12th grade, and I am the Coppell Student Media web producer.
I'm Shivi Sharma. I'm in 11th grade, and I'm the CHS9 editor.
If this is your first time tuning in, the Penny Podcast is a weekly podcast that incorporates interview, conversational, and communal elements.
This week, our CSM highlight goes to Nico Reyes for his article titled Dear America, a message from a citizen who mourns once more, published under our opinion section. I'll recite a piece from his article. America speaks many languages, yet as a Hispanic, I fear the rhetoric of your people. My brothers and sisters in El Paso tremble at the sound of their mother tongue. Being in schools, churches, theaters, and supermarkets are stressful events for your people. Now we feel that even our immigrant pride must be kept in the shadows. Read Nico's full story on coppellstudentmedia.com.
This week on One Shot, Taylor Swift recently released her 7th studio album, Lover. It is a record which finds Swift at her most mature and capable. Lover is currently sitting at an 80 out of 100 on Metacritic, which is an online review aggregator. If you found Taylor's sound on her past record Reputation too jarring, you might want to check out Lover. You know who is a big Taylor Swift fan?
Hi, I'm Anthony Cesario. I'm in 12th grade and I'm the editor-in-chief of the Sidekick.
Okay, Anthony, what are your duties as executive editor-in-chief?
So basically, as executive editor-in-chief, my whole responsibility is kind of just to oversee everything that's happening in the Sidekick program and make sure, nothing's going crazy wrong. Also, I do things like I lead the editors' meetings, I write a column each issue. I also lead kind of like the search for new content in our fall season as we're being judged for awards.
How do you plan to run the Sidekick this year?
So basically, if you know me, I'm really a perfectionist. So my first goal is to take what we have and make it perfect. So even the little things on the website, I want everything to look the same. I want it to look like a true professional website, and I want to make sure that everything is running smoothly. But another plan I have this year is we have our new slogan on staff, and that's issuing the truth. Mm-hmm. And a big goal we have this year is to really brand ourselves as that, because we are after all a news organization. So we should be aiming to tell the truth and get the truth out to the public. So I really want everyone on staff to emphasize that we are issuing the truth, and I want people to know us for that.
Right.
To go along with the branding, what is your definition of issuing the truth?
To me, issuing the truth is getting the truth out to the public, making sure we have no fake news whatsoever. And that's not only in the stories that we publish, but really anything that we're saying in general. All the time you can have, you can be talking to your friends or whatever, and you can be oh, did you hear so-and-so did this? Mm-hmm. And as people tell more people about that could get misconstrued, or it could be completely wrong in the first place. And we don't want to be this organization that's literally spreading misinformation, mm-hmm. as minor as it may be. So I just want to make sure that as a staff we're doing our best to make sure our content is of course timely and quick with the news, but also that it's completely factual, mm-hmm. And people can really trust us.
That makes sense.
Let's go back 3 years. Why did you join the Sidekick?
So I first became interested in the Sidekick from the shadow days in middle school, which is where the CHS Red Jackets would take us around CHS to visit and explore all the different things you could do there. So I was interested in getting involved in an extracurricular, and I knew I loved writing. And at first I actually was interested in KCBY because the thought of being involved in a news program interested me. But then I realized I would have to be in front of a camera, and yeah, I would not like that. But then I found out that we had a newspaper, and I didn't even know that was a thing. So I became interested in that ever since. And then as a freshman, I took the Arts AV Tech and Communications class with Mr. Wofford, who's the Sidekick advisor. And then from that point on, I just continued right into Sidekick.
How has being on the Sidekick for 3 years impacted you?
So, Sidekick has totally, like, and I'm not going to be, like, over dramatic, but it's, like, totally changed me. Like, it's definitely changed who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, when I came into this program, I was, like, I was much more quiet, less confident, like, less willing to, like, literally do anything, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because I was, like, I'm joining Sidekick because I like writing, and I had planned on just doing writing. Like, that was all I was going to do. But then as I became involved in this program, I realized that there's, like, so many different opportunities. Like, there's page design, there's photography, there's editing. Some of these things I haven't even done to this point. But it's exposed me to so many new things. And the people I've met along the way have become, like, some of my closest friends, and it's been such, like, a community that it really makes me feel like I have a place in CHS. So yeah, it's just really made me grow as a person, and it's also, like, I'm much more willing to, like, talk to new people, just because, like, as a journalist, you're, like, kind of forced to go outside of your comfort zone. So now I'm, like, obviously it's still out of my comfort zone, but I'm a bit more comfortable with it now, and it's made me be willing to explore a lot of new opportunities.
Would you say that it's open doors?
Yes, definitely.
Why did you start your own podcast, The Art of Entertainment?
Yeah, okay. I started my own podcast back in June. I think it was June. I really have been interested in entertainment forever. Like, music has always been, like, the defining aspect of my life. Like, literally everything in my life is, like, based off of music. But, like, I love music, I love books, I love movies, television. So I always knew that, like, I wanted to do something in my future that was related to entertainment. Because, like, even from a kid, like, as a young kid, I literally, like, wrote television episodes. So it's always been, like, a part of me. But, like, going into middle school and high school, I kind of got freaked out because I tried so many different things related to entertainment. Like, I did band, I did choir, I played piano, I played trumpet. I did so many different things that never panned out. And then I just, like, freaked out and worried that I would never actually get to do something related to entertainment. But then it was actually my dad who, like, mid-panic attack was like, hey, why don't you do a podcast? Like, you obviously love talking about entertainment. That sounds like something you would be really interested in. So I actually just started it, like, from that point on, and it's been really fun. Yeah.
Was that a serious moment for you when he told you that?
Yeah, honestly, yeah, because I was literally freaking out at that point. Like, I was like, oh my god, I have nothing I'm gonna do in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it seems like there's nothing I'm passionate about. Because I know I'm passionate about, like, entertainment, specifically music,
mm-hmm.
but, like, there was nothing I could do to put that to use. So it, like, honestly made me really upset. And then the moment that my dad suggested that, like, I had never even considered doing a podcast. And then, like, it kind of, like, opened my eyes. Like, I realized, like, that was definitely something I was interested in.
Yeah, I think that's difficult, trying to find a medium to channel your passions into,
Yeah,
especially when, I don't know, there's 20 different billion of them, and we can't choose, or maybe we just don't see it when it's right in front of us.
Mm-hmm.
How many episodes have you done so far?
Right now, I think on Sunday we just did our 17th episode. Mm-hmm. I started out by myself. Recently I've been doing it with my friend Penelope. So yeah, during the school we do it, like, once every weekend. Right. So we're on episode 17 right now.
Oh, okay.
We're syncing up. We're on episode 18.
Yeah, and we just started season 2, so season 2 of Penny's podcast.
Yeah, I noticed that. Huh. Do you have any specific goals for your podcast?
Honestly, right now, my goal is just to have fun with it, because I know from experience that once I get into things a lot, and then I start having, like, goals, and I, like, get farther and farther into that field, sometimes it will kill my passion for it. Like, for example, when I played piano for 8 years, and I liked it at first because it was just something, like, I was inherently, like, I was pretty good at it. But then, like, I started entering competitions and doing contests, and it kind of ruined the fun for me. So right now, like, my goal is just to talk about entertainment because that's what I love doing. And obviously I want to like kind of expand my podcast. I think like starting to do it with my friend has really made it improve. And I've also just been like, you know, experimenting with iMovie sound effects because I'm totally inexperienced with that. So like it's definitely improved since its first episode. So it's changed a lot. But right now I'm just wanting to have fun with it.
Awesome.
So what has been your favorite topic to explore on your podcast so far?
So I think my favorite topic was, I'm pretty sure it was episode 13. This was the first episode I actually did with my friend Penelope.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about sampling in music, and so basically sampling is just where like a song will take an element of another song and use it in their own work. So basically the whole episode was just about us discussing about whether that like diminished music as an art form, like was it stealing something or was it like amplifying your own art. And so like in theory like maybe it's not like the hottest topic, but like I think it ended up being like a 45-minute episode because we totally got into it and it was super fun to just talk about. And by the end of the episode I had actually like changed my entire perspective on sampling. And so yeah, that was definitely my favorite one.
Yeah, I have some opinions on that as well. What are some things that are similar to you between our two podcasts?
So I think one of the overall general similarities is just like the question answer format. Like normally the way we do our podcast is where like we'll alternate between asking each other questions and then we'll just totally talk about that for like 5 or 10 minutes. But also I think another aspect that's kind of similar is the intro that we do at the beginning of podcasts where we'll talk about like the story and then we'll do like a little entertainment segue. I kind of do that on my own podcast. Like we just did the review of Taylor Swift's album Lover. But like the whole episode as a whole was like we were actually talking about like 10 different entertainment topics, like 2 minutes each, like jumping between them. And then we finally like transitioned into talking about the album. And I don't know, I saw some similarities there. It was kind of like an interesting segue.
Segueing is key, right?
Of course. So tell us how to find your podcast online.
Okay, so go to youtube.com and then search up the Art of Entertainment podcast. Make sure podcast is in the name because there's already the Art of Entertainment. So make sure the podcast is there. And then it's like the first result. And then subscribe because why not?
Yes, of course. Thanks to our host Shivi. Special thanks to our guest Anthony Cesario. Thank you all for joining us in the 18th episode of the Penny Podcast. Links to the topics we mentioned today can be found below. See you next week. Woo! Awesome. Thanks to our host Shivi. Special thanks to our guest Anthony Cesario. And also special thanks to all of our listeners. Thank you all. Wait. So many things. Okay.
Let's say one or the other.
Anthony Cesario?
Cesario.
Too many things. I was thinking the guest like 20 times.